Welcome back. It's the NW Sportscast. Levi and Drew here, and we are here to talk about the Seahawks, the team that consistently, week after week, it's just excitement followed by disappointment, followed by excitement, followed by disappointment. This week, we got to end on a high note. Jason Myers' game-winning field goal over the Washington Commanders.
5 field goals.
5 for 5, and this was a must-win game, in my opinion, for both teams. So the fact that we won, it helps us a lot as far as playoff standing. We needed this game, and we got it. Drew, what are your initial thoughts on the game?
Initial thoughts is that you can look at a lot of things in this game, but again, what stuck out to me is Geno Smith didn't have a great game until about halfway through the fourth quarter there, and then he looked like the best version of Geno Smith I've seen, to be quite frank with you. The offensive line definitely didn't help him out for most of this game. It seemed like he was rushed, tried to get rid of balls, tried to extend plays a little too long. But overall, it was really, really nice to see. I wouldn't even say a vintage Geno Smith. That was the best Geno Smith I might have seen in, ever. And a lot of that has to do with guys like DK Metcalf finally getting right again towards the end there. Tyler Lockett, obviously, the go-ahead touchdown in the fourth. So I think we play our best when we play that kind of hurry-up style offense. And that's what we did on that final drive there.
Yeah, we definitely turned it on in the fourth quarter and as well as in the third quarter. I mean, honestly, it was like a tale of two games. The first half, we really couldn't do anything offensively. Second half, all of a sudden, the offense looks as good as it has all season. So I'm not really sure what the takeaway there is, other than, somehow we figured it out. But
Yeah.
I have to say, I was still a little bit discouraged by our coaching in this game. I mean, you look at it, this is a must-win game against a team with a terrible defense. And for the entire first half, they had every single answer for us. I mean, we were completely ineffective in the first half. And it's like, at some point, it's not, you can't just put all the blame on the players. And I've been pretty critical of Shane Waldron, but I think overall, just as a coaching staff, like, you have to be more prepared. You can't make it be a fourth quarter comeback every time. And you also can't make it, Jason Myers was 5 for 5. He was completely money, but there was plenty of opportunities to score earlier in that game that the Seahawks squandered. And it's like, why were we not prepared to shoot out of the gate and be really on? Like, we should have had the lead way earlier in that game, considering the way how bad their defense is. They just traded away Montez Sweat and Chase Young. I don't know. It was too close for comfort, but at least we got the win.
Well, we should have gone up 12-9 there to end the first half. Geno Smith and
That
company
was on Geno.
drove, and then Geno, that was really bad. Might have been a sack, but they ended up calling it what they called it, the intentional grounding.
Yeah, he took an
Then
intentional
it was
grounding.
under 10 seconds, 10-second runoff. Really, really bad by Geno Smith there. So we should have been up. Myers should have gone 6 for 6 tonight, but a consistent theme for the Seahawks offense cannot score, inside the 30, 40-yard line. It seems like we're just kicking so many field goals this year. I think that's our biggest weakness right now as an offense. When we're driving down, we're getting past half field or midway, and then I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, red zone inefficiency. I mean, we've seen good teams suffer from this problem. Last year, the Cowboys were the same way. They would get into the red zone with ease, and people would say, "Wow, look at the Cowboys offense. Look at Kellen Moore go." And then they would get to the red zone, and it was like Dak became a completely different quarterback. The Seahawks are suffering from that right now. We get to the red zone, and this was a theme when we played the Bengals. I'm not really against the Ravens, but in the Bengals game, this was happening. It was happening in the Panthers game. Remember, we had 4 field goals against the Panthers before we got that first touchdown.
It's happened almost every game this season.
It happened against the Rams. Like, it keeps happening, and it's like, what's the problem there? And honestly, like, I think half of it is Geno struggling when he gets under pressure, but I think a big part of it is our play calling. It's like, I don't really know if Shane Waldron has a great arsenal of like red zone plays. he clearly he doesn't, because whenever we get to the red zone, the offensive play calling, it goes from being super creative, like interesting stuff, to like, oh, like Gino takes a shot to the end zone. Like I don't know. It's
And
just
that shouldn't be the case. That should not be the case. We have three capable tight ends and DK Metcalf. I mean, that just should not be the case. And you can throw in Tyler Lockett, one of the best toe touching
yeah.
wide receivers in the league. That simply should not be the case.
Well, and you also
So
have two running backs who are more than capable. Like
for
last
sure.
year, Kenneth Walker was the guy getting a lot of the carries inside of the 20. And this year, I feel like we get to the 20 and it's like incomplete pass, field goal. Incomplete pass, 2 yard screen pass, field goal. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to rip on the offense that much.
Yeah.
When you do look at this game, we did score 29 points. We outrushed, outpassed, out total yards, out time possession. I mean, like all of these things we did better than the football team. But the thing that really stands out to me is 4 for 14, third down. I mean, it's not going to get the job done when you're converting
Yeah.
third downs less than a third of the time against a Washington Commanders team that just traded away arguably their two best players on defense. I mean, that's not good at all. When we start to play the 49ers of the world, if we're going 4 for 14 from third down against the Commanders, I don't know if we're going to be able to even stay competitive against the 49ers, to be honest with you, Levi.
Yeah, and the Niners, they're back out there to stake their claim as best team in the league. They just
Yeah.
wallop the Jaguars. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm definitely scared of that game. I'm definitely scared of the Dallas game. I'm scared of the Philadelphia game. And to be honest, I'm scared of the Pittsburgh game as well. They're 6-3. They're
I'm
looking
scared of all these games. And
so.
Kyler Murray's back now. The
Kyler
Cardinals won't
Murray's
be as
back with
easy.
the Cardinals. I mean, I think we should beat Carson Wentz and the Rams next week. Carson Wentz has never beaten the Seahawks, but after that, man, it's gonna be a gauntlet. And
Yeah,
I'm not
for
sure.
sure.
I still think 2-3, and that gauntlet of games, and you're looking at 9-7, and then just win one of those games, Cardinals or Titans, to end the season. And I do think this is a playoff team, but man, it's a scary stretch of games coming up.
Yeah. One more thing that does stand out, Geno Smith in the last few games before this one had 2 turnovers per game. I think in three straight games, was it, Levi? Maybe it was back to back.
Yeah, I
Either
think he had 4 straight games actually, but
was
he
it
ended
4?
that streak.
So yeah, he ended that streak with 0. So that was good to see.
Yeah.
0 fumbles lost and 0 interceptions from the whole offense, which was good to see. But again, the fact that we did not turn over the ball and we still only beat the Commanders by 3. I mean,
Did we get any turnovers?
we did. We recovered 1 fumble,
Yeah.
but I feel like this was kind of as clean as the offense could play as far as turnovers wise, and we still only won by 3 points.
Yeah.
And
And the Commanders do have a good offense. Give them credit. Sam Howell and that
Sam
offense,
Howell should be a starting quarterback in
Eric
the league for
Bieniemy. I mean,
quite a while.
that offense looks good. They have two
Sam
running
Howell,
backs, two receivers. I mean, that's a good team.
I left that game thinking Sam Howell will be a 20 to 32 starter in the league for a good decade. I mean, this guy's not bad.
Well, I mean, nobody's at 20 to 32 for a decade. But I think he has
I think he
potential.
can be.
No, you'd get benched. If he doesn't crack the top 20, he'll be benched. No quarterback goes that long not in the top 20. But I think my takeaway, honestly, is Sam Howell. I think he can be a top 10 quarterback.
He looked good. I
would
don't
put it
think he'll
back
be
there.
that. I do not think he'll be that. But he
I think
looked
in
good.
this
He
system
created.
with Bieniemy, I think he could be.
He rolled out to the right and left a lot, and he would kind of do this thing where he would draw in the linebackers that were following him, or sometimes the cornerbacks were sitting in a zone coverage. And then when he looked like he was about to run past the line of scrimmage, those guys would step in, the Bobby Wagners, the Tyreek Woollens of the world would step in. And then the second that happened, that wide receiver that was then once guarded by them, he would throw the ball to. Very Russell Wilson kind of esque. Early in his career, it was very, it was quite impressive by Sam Howell. I mean, it really was. They threw the ball 44 times. He's thrown the ball more than anyone else in the league this year.
Yeah.
The most passing attempts. He's out throwing he has like 50 more passing attempts than Patrick Mahomes. I mean, it's not even that close. Brian Robinson and Antonio Gibson, 12 carries combined. 12 carries combined. I
Yeah.
mean, they ran the ball for 38 yards and 13. They ran the ball for 51 yards, 0 touchdowns. I mean, this was all Sam Howell, and you got to give him credit. You really do.
Yeah, no, that's actually very similar. When I watch him play, I do see a little bit of the old timey Russell Wilson kind of game style. I don't think he's gonna end up being that good, but like, yeah, I think he could have a career very similar to a previous Commanders quarterback who came off the bench, who was a later pick in the draft, and ended up becoming the highest paid player in football for a year. I think he could end up having a career similar to Kirk Cousins.
Wow.
I think
Yeah.
he's the guy who can make some Pro Bowls, make the playoffs a few times.
Yeah.
We're going to be the
I got
best,
impressed.
but I think he can be a good quarterback.
Levi, what do you think this means for the Seahawks defense?
For the defense, I think it means we played. They did as much as they had to do, and then at the very end, they made a couple mistakes and let the Commanders back into the game. But
Yeah.
they didn't lose it for us. And in
That
the
was
end, I
so
mean, this Commanders offense has been playing well against everyone. I mean, the Eagles, I think, have a good defense, right? Most people agree the Eagles have a good defense. The Commanders scored 30 against the Eagles. So in outside of the Bills game when they lost like 30-3, the Commanders have scored more than 20 points, I think, every other game. So this is
yeah,
not
that's
an
true.
offense to laugh at.
That's true. I think the defense could have played better, but there was things to like, obviously. Boye Mafe, 7 straight games, franchise
Seven
record.
straight with a sack. Isn't that impressive?
So, and then Bobby Wagner and Draymond Jones combined for a sack. And then newcomer Leonard Williams got one as well.
Yeah.
No interceptions forced. There was one dropped by Tyreek Woolen, I believe. Um, I thought the cornerbacks had an okay game. I would have liked to see a little bit more pressure against a subpar, an offensive line that's average at best. We didn't really get to Sam Howell that much, and when we did, we kind of let him escape the pocket pretty easily. So I wanted to see that a little bit better. But as far as the secondary goes, I would chalk this up to a kind of an average game by the defense. There wasn't anything glaring other than the last drive. You got to get a stop there. I mean, you cannot let the Commanders. They converted what? I think they converted a couple of fourth downs. It might have been only one. Okay, it was only one, but they converted a fourth down. You know, in the last drive of it should have been. I mean, Geno Smith in the offense. I did not expect to score 3 points there. I thought we were going to overtime, so I thought that was going to be the
Oh
last
yeah. No,
drive of the game.
my initial reaction when I saw it was like,
Yeah,
oh, like fudge, we're going to overtime.
yeah, and I didn't love our chances in overtime if the Commanders got the ball. So
Yeah. Yeah,
it
true.
was it was disappointing to see the Commanders with what only a couple of timeouts. I don't actually remember the exact, but I remember thinking like I felt good. I felt good about our chances of winning that ball game when we were up by a touchdown with a couple minutes to go and the Commanders had the ball. And the defense just allowed a few third downs, a few fourth downs, a couple of blown coverages, and all of a sudden the Commanders were in the end zone, and I sat there shaking my head like, what just happened? I mean, I was shocked. I really was. I expected the defense to come up big there, and they didn't.
Yeah, that's a totally fair assessment. I agree. That was their one moment of weakness. And I guess I'll say this. I mean, we play the Rams next weekend. The Rams are likely going to be starting Carson Wentz, who hasn't played yet this season. The defense, I'm going to excuse them against Sam Howell because Sam Howell's been good this year. There's no excuse against Carson Wentz. You got to hold him to like 13 points at the most. Like
Yeah.
if the Rams score more than one touchdown, then that is then becomes a problem for the defense. But I think we're going to blow up the Rams. I honestly do.
You don't underestimate Carson Wentz.
Well, he
He's not a
hasn't played yet this year, so I don't.
he's not a good quarterback, but I would say above average athletic ability of a quarterback. I mean, he has a really good arm. he showed, a few years ago that he can be an
I'm
MVP
not
candidate.
saying he's not talented. I just
No,
think that
no,
he doesn't know
I
the
agree.
playbook. He
I
doesn't.
agree. Yeah, he shouldn't be. We should hold him to under, I would say under 15 points.
Yeah.
But I'm saying if we go into this game thinking that we just gotta be diligent, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's fair. I just like if we beat the Rams 29-26, I would be a little bit less.
Yeah.
But I guess with that, I think those are as much as points we have. So we're gonna close this video out. Please leave a comment down below. Give us your guys' takes. And just so you guys know, if you remember me from my last video, my post game, no, I have not changed my mind on Geno. I still think we need to replace him next season. I'm going to stay consistent with that. He beat one of the worst defenses in the NFL, played one good half. I'm really happy that he did that. And all at the same time, I have to understand he's not a playoff winning capable quarterback in my opinion. So just to keep my consistency there, I never thought we should bench him for Drew Lock, and I still do not think that, obviously, but I also do not think he should be our starter next year. So with that, we are gonna say good night to you, and we'll be back tomorrow with some Mariners free agency talk, talking about who we think that the Mariners should maybe target. We got some Blake Snell rumors flying around. That's all going to be awesome. So subscribe down to the channel if you're new. Leave a like, leave a comment, hit that bell for notifications. Drew, you can close us out.
Yeah, thanks everyone for watching. This is the NW Sportscast. Go to Coast Sports if you want more content. See you later.